Good evening from Miami. It's Wednesday, June 24th, and the city wakes up to a sports earthquake, a school shakeup, and a World Cup crowd downtown. Here's your full local rundown, plus a look at the wider world. The Miami Heat have pulled off the move of the summer, acquiring two-time most valuable player Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Milwaukee Bucks in a blockbuster trade. The deal lands one of the NBA's biggest stars in South Florida, and fans across the region erupted, treating it as a franchise-altering coup. Antetokounmpo anchored Milwaukee's 2021 championship and instantly makes Miami a title contender. What's still unclear is the price. Which players and draft picks Milwaukee receives will tell us just how much the Heat gave up to get him. Colombia has a new president. Abelardo de la Espriella, a businessman and lawyer, has won the country's election after his rival, Ivan Cepeda, conceded defeat on Wednesday. The result seals a sharp right-wing turn, echoing a conservative shift seen elsewhere in Latin America. De la Espriella's victory carries weight well beyond Colombia's borders, especially for the Amazon rainforest, where national policy shapes the future of conservation. The big question now is direction. How he handles environmental and economic policy will come into focus as he begins assembling a government. There's plenty happening around town today. Music lovers can start early with Dubwise Miami at Coyotaco this morning, while art fans should swing by the Balloon Museum's Pop Air, the inflatable art show at Mana Wynwood, opening at 10:15. For something different, hop aboard the Ride and Dine tour from Hard Rock Cafe at 11. And if you're feeling civic-minded, Coral Gables hosts a Mobility Hub town hall for businesses this morning, with the City Commission gaveling in at 1. Get out and enjoy it. Miami-Dade County Public Schools will close 9 campuses, and according to the Miami Herald, several of those buildings are already in the sights of charter operators expanding under Florida's Schools of Hope program. That state law lets approved charter networks move into or near underperforming traditional schools. The Herald ties the closures directly to that pipeline, though the district has framed earlier consolidations as a response to declining enrollment. For families, the stakes are real. Where children end up and who runs the campuses they leave behind may now depend on which operators step in. Watch how the district handles the transition. The World Cup came to Miami on Wednesday, with Brazil set to face Scotland in a Group C clash. The supporters made it a spectacle of their own. Scottish fans reached the stadium more than 7 hours before kickoff, having traveled from the United Kingdom and even Boston to be there. Group C also features Morocco and Haiti, all 4 sides chasing a place in the round of 32. It was one of 6 group stage matches on the day's calendar, the 14th day of the tournament. For Miami, it's another marquee moment on the global stage. Back to that Heat trade for a moment, this time through the eyes of the fans. Local station WPLG reported on the deal bringing Giannis Antetokounmpo to South Florida, and the reaction was electric, with supporters across the region celebrating the arrival of one of the league's premier talents. Notably, the station also caught Bucks fans weighing in, a reminder that a trade this big reshapes 2 cities at once. Milwaukee loses its franchise cornerstone, and Miami gains a superstar. For Heat Nation, the celebration is just getting started. President Donald Trump abruptly called off a Wednesday ceremony to sign a bipartisan housing affordability bill, declaring he'll withhold his signature until Congress passes his Save America Act, a measure tightening voting rules. The housing bill had cleared both chambers by wide margins. The cancellation deepened a rift with Republican senators, who met with the president as the standoff overshadowed their agenda. Democrats accused Trump of brushing aside Americans' rising living costs, while he tied the housing measure's fate to his separate voting legislation. With affordability a top concern for voters, this fight over a popular bill is one to watch. France has recorded its hottest day since measurements began in 1947, its National Weather Agency said, shattering a record set just 1 day earlier as a punishing heat wave grips much of Europe. The extreme temperatures knocked out power in parts of the country. More than a dozen nations issued urgent heat warnings, and forecasters say Britain is closing in on its own June record as the heat pushes northward. Beyond the immediate danger, these back-to-back records underscore how quickly extreme heat is becoming the European summer's new normal. More now on Colombia's cliffhanger. Ivan Cepeda has conceded the presidential runoff to Abelardo de la Espriella, who won by a margin of less than a single percentage point. The concession confirms a result preliminary counts had pointed to since Sunday night. De la Espriella, a Trump-admiring outsider, campaigned on dismantling the legacy of outgoing leftist President Gustavo Petro and takes office just 4 years after Colombia elected its first leftist leader. Cepeda, a senator who made his name pursuing a former right-wing president in the courts, had cast the vote as a defense of that turn. That razor-thin margin leaves the new president with a deeply divided country. The U.S. Supreme Court has sided with ExxonMobil in its long-running bid to win compensation from the Cuban government for property seized under Fidel Castro after the 1959 revolution. The ruling lets the company's lawsuit, filed under Title III of the 1996 Helms-Burton Act, proceed against state-owned Cuban entities. Exxon is seeking damages tied to a refinery and other holdings the government nationalized. The decision revives a category of claims Washington had left dormant for decades, until the Trump administration opened the door. It adds fresh legal pressure on Havana, already grappling with fuel shortages and a deepening economic crisis. Cuban officials reject such claims as a violation of international law. Austin Reaves is staying in Los Angeles. The guard intends to sign a 4-year, $185 million maximum contract with the Lakers, sources told ESPN's Shams Charania, with a player option for the 2029-2030 season. The agreement, struck on the night of the NBA draft's first round, locks up one of the Lakers' core pieces as the offseason market heats up. It follows Monday's blockbuster sending Giannis Antetokounmpo from Milwaukee to Miami in a package built around Tyler Herro, and Detroit, reportedly, is still circling Herro in trade talks. Here's a hopeful one. Scientists say humans may carry a hidden ability to regrow body parts, one that's normally switched off by the formation of scar tissue. By manipulating a set of genetic switches, researchers coaxed laboratory animals to rebuild bone, ligament, muscle, and skin, the very structures that creatures like salamanders regrow after losing a limb. The work is still early, and no one has regrown a human limb. But if it holds up, it could explain why most mammals heal with scars instead of replacements, and point toward a way around that limit someday. That's the brief from Miami this Wednesday. Thanks for spending part of your day with us. We'll be back tomorrow. And if you'd like your own daily rundown, built just for you, visit the address on your screen or the link below.